Hi, this is Jordan from Recap Animation. All properties are owned by the respective companies. Please enjoy. Previously, we saw Alibaba fails to consult with Ahmad. When Judar visits, he meets Aladdin for the first time and learns he is a magi. The two magi engage in a battle where Ugo overwhelms Judar in the end. When Ugo is about to finish off Judar, Kugyoku and her men save him and defeat Ugo. As Aladdin passes out after Magoi exhaustion due to save Ugo, Ahmad consults Alibaba about Ahmad's plan of selling Balbad citizens into slavery. Aladdin is still unconscious. Alibaba, wanting to do something about the Balbad slavery plan, gets picked up by Qasim, who reveals that they will be marching in the war against the royal family. Alibaba objects to that and decides to become stronger by mastering his jinn equipment. He then tries to barge into the royal family to stop Ahmad's plan once and for all. Then, because Alibaba is the leader of the fog troop, the guards block his way and won't let him into the palace. Still, when the people hear that, they start throwing rocks at the guards. Alibaba stops everyone and tells the guard that he will stop the crowds and only he will go inside, swearing on his name as a prince of Balbad. Meanwhile, in her quarters, the red-hair princess from the Ku Empire asks her aide, Ka Hubon, about the health of Judar. He tells her his household vessel is treating him, but full recovery will take some time because his bones are broken. Meanwhile, in the palace, the financial advisor brings 3 guards to protect Ahmad as betrothal gifts for his upcoming marriage. Then everyone there hears the commotion from the outside, and when they see the intruder from the roof inside the palace, they are shocked. And then Alibaba shouts and tells Ahmad that he had come to settle things with him. Hearing this, Ahmad gets angry and says he'll never acknowledge trash as a prince and orders one of his new guards, Entai, to kill Alibaba. Then Entai jumps from there and transforms into a huge elephant, making Alibaba surprised because Entai is from the Ku Empire. Alibaba now thinks about using his jinn power to summon a weapon because now he doesn't have a choice as Entai is way too much stronger than him. Then Alibaba tries to concentrate but fails to do jinn equipment and Entai overpowers him. But the moment he is close to dying and everything seemed hopeless to him, Aladdin appears in his mind and tells him that he is a hero and he believes in him. Then suddenly Alibaba opens his eyes and dodges Entai's strike and counterattacks him. Then Alibaba tries to do his jinn equipment and gets successful and then cuts Entai in half. Then Alibaba gets delighted to see Amon's sword. Meanwhile, Ahmed is shocked to see him kill the massive elephant and sends another one of his guards, a massive strange monkey, to kill Alibaba. Then the enormous monkey goes down and summons other small monkeys like him, which have the ability to regenerate infinitely until the giant monkey is slayed. The financial advisor tells Ahmad that the monkey is a miraculous dungeon creature with human intelligence. Then suddenly Morgiana arrives and kicks the monkeys away from Alibaba. Then when the monkeys try to attack them again, Morgiana screams, making the monkey fly away by the power behind her scream. Morgiana then picks Alibaba up and throws him over the palace's second wall. Meanwhile, Sinbad gets the news about Alibaba breaking into the palace. Sinbad says the support he called from their allied countries was so close. Still, now it's going to be hard to solve everything politically. Then Sinbad heads toward the palace. Meanwhile, Alibaba is running toward King's audience room but is suddenly attacked by the last of the 3 guards of Ahmad. Alibaba rushes at him and swings Amon's sword, which cuts the guard's sword in half. Then, when Alibaba tries to kill him with one last blow, his Magoi runs out. Then he throws oil at the guard, makes fire with his dagger, activates his jinn equipment, and slashes the guard in half. Afterward, Alibaba thinks that the method is to absorb flames and turns them into Magoi, but it only lasts a moment. Meanwhile, Morgiana tries Mesrur's move, but fails. Then she jumps around the building, increasing her speed, and instantly arrives in front of the massive monkey and kicks, making all the buildings around her fall. On the other hand, Alibaba finally reaches the king's audience chamber. Then Ahmad tells the financial advisor that his guard is useless. Then Alibaba says that he doesn't need his jinn's power anymore because the people here are different from those monsters from the Ku Empire, and these soldiers are all citizens of Balbad. Hearing this, Ahmad orders his soldiers to kill Alibaba, but they start hesitating. Still, from the constant orders from Ahmad, they apprehend Alibaba. Then all of a sudden, the deputy king Sabmad gets the courage to tell everyone to drop their weapons and to stay out of the conversation between the third Prince Ali Baba and the king. Then in anger, Sabmad asks if he wants to rebel against him, and Ali Baba says he has come to put an end to the status quo in this country. Then Sabmad asks Sabmad if he was the one who told the thieves the information. Sabmad said yes, and then said to Sabmad that he was crazy for agreeing to sign the people of Balbad into slavery at tomorrow's engagement ceremony. Then Sabmad scares Sabmad and tells him that if he removes him from kingship, how will he take care of the people and answer to their needs, as everyone will be expecting from him? Hearing this, Sabmad gets frightened and gets on his knees, and Sabmad starts insulting him. Still then, Ali Baba comes up and punches Sabmad and tells him that his brother Sabmad is the bravest man because he risked his life to come to the Fog's troop hideout to speak with him, and now he just took control of the situation and saved his life. Then suddenly, the 8th Imperial Princess arrives in the hall and asks about the going commotion. Meanwhile, the 3 bandit brothers who stole the stuff from Sinbad when he was sleeping are running because they think the country is done for. Meanwhile, the Rook is gathering around Aladdin and Judar, and then on the roof of the tall building in Balbad, a person is standing. He was the one who offered weapons to Kasim's group Ithnan. On the other hand, Kukyoku is confused by the situation, and financial advisor Marquio tells her there is a rebellion. Then she thinks happily that if the king becomes someone else, she will not have to marry Ahmad. Then Kogyoku says that she has to come to marry the king of Baghdad and sign a treaty their countries agreed upon, and her purpose will not change whoever becomes the king, and tells them to select their new king. Then the previous king's right, General Barkuk, tells Sabmad that following the proper succession order, he would be next, but Sabmad tells him he is not qualified and asks Ali Baba to become the next king. Then Ali Baba tells them that he will not be the king and requests Princess Kugyoku to annul the treaty of the transfer of human rights that were to be signed tomorrow, because from now on, the kingdom of Balbad is to cease monarchic rule immediately. The people will choose their representatives, set up by a republic, and hold a congress. That's what he has come to the palace to say. Then suddenly, Sinbad arrives with the diplomatic directors of the 3 countries in the alliance that he commands, and says he brought the members of the alliance to recommend Prince Ali Baba Saluja to be the king of Balbad. Then Sinbad said that he thought Ali Baba needed to become king to save Balbad, so he called them over. Sinbad confronted Ali Baba and said he thought of a completely different method to save the country. Later, when the princess leaves on the flying carpet, her aide asks her if she is sure it is all right to leave Judar there. She tells them it's all right because Markiko is with him. He then starts thinking of Sinbad. As Ali Baba addresses his decision to the people, the Rook gathers strangely around Aladdin and Judar while Kasim and his men approach the palace. The crowd enthusiastically supports Ali Baba's suggestion to transform Balbad into a republic. When Kasim and his fog troop arrived on the scene, the locals informed them that they had witnessed Prince Ali Baba say that the country belongs to the people. Ithnan keeps an eye on the situation and ponders what actions Kasim will take. After that, Kasim reveals his opinions and claims that everything from the beginning was for the citizens of Balbad. Nevertheless, the aristocrats and royals stole taxes from the common people and brought this country to its knees through their utterly incompetent leadership. In addition, he yells that they cannot bring the dead back to life and questions whether or not the crimes committed by the monarchy will vanish along with it. In response, Kasim states that this will not be the case and that the monarchy will continue to be an enemy that they need to slay. In the meantime, Zainab is fueling the crowd's anger with her hallucinogenic red mist and forcing them to think that even if they establish a republic, the deceased family members who have died from starvation will not return to them. After Kasim gives the order for everyone to eliminate the royal family, the populace begins to rebel while the Black Rook runs rampant. Elsewhere, Jafar makes several attempts to awaken Aladdin from his slumber. In Aladdin's dream, the first thing he sees when he shows up is Ugo's talking head. After that, Aladdin asks him if he is already dead. However, Ugo reassures him and says that Aladdin is still alive, that only his consciousness is here. He then tells Aladdin that he is almost dead due to a battle with Judar because, after the battle, Aladdin uses all his Mayjoy trying to revive Ugo. In Balbad, Marquio tries to suppress the White Rook. Still then, Ithnan arrives and crushes him, saying that he will not allow those of the Holy Palace to do as they please. Then Ithnan uses his powers and the Black Rook overwhelms the White Rook. Meanwhile, Ugo talks about how Black Rook is formed when the flow of fate is reversed. He explains to Aladdin that he cannot protect him anymore and has something important to give him, the wisdom of Solomon. After going deep into the vortex of knowledge, Solomon informs Aladdin that he will be reborn. On the other hand, once they are satisfied that Aladdin's condition has returned to normal, Jafar and Mesrur make their way to the palace. Over at the palace, the guards are being slaughtered, and Barkak asks Sabmad to intervene in the situation and order the soldiers to fight the civilians. However, Sabmad remains indecisive until Ali Baba takes action. Ali Baba gives them the instruction to have one half of the royal army seal off the main gate. In contrast, the other half of the army retaliates against the invaders inside the palace. After that, Ali Baba confronts Qasim and his group. Ali Baba demands that Qasim explain himself, and Qasim responds by saying that he does not require equality or kings. When Qasim attacks Ali Baba, the others bind him with their black fog so that he cannot escape. In an effort to get away, Ali Baba lets loose his flames, but Zainab counters with a constant stream of her red mist. As Ali Baba tries to remain focused, the others try to finish off Ali Baba. Yet Ali Baba uses Amon's sword to defend himself. He breaks Hassan's weapon and everyone's swords, and then puts his sword on Qasim's neck and orders him to withdraw, yet Qasim demands Ali Baba to kill him, otherwise he will not retreat. Just as Ali Baba is about to swing his sword, he reverts his weapon into his dagger. Ali Baba cries to Qasim and urges him to stop fighting. Qasim remarks that Ali Baba has gone soft, recalling Ithnan's instructions that if he wants to curse his fate, use the weapon that sleeps within his weapon. Still, in the case that he is not the suitable container for that power, he will die. Qasim then stabs himself with his sword and gathers all the remnants of his allies' shattered blades, which strike his body. Qasim's body then starts absorbing the household vessels, and Qasim transforms into a dark jinn. If you have made it to the end, thank you so much for watching this recap with us. If you like this recap and want to see more of it, click the like below and watch part 6 of the series.